My blissful, gorgeous self, today we are entering into the wonderful story of Sri Lakhaji Maharaj. Lakhaji was born in Marwar, a tract of land surrounded by Rajasthan state, UP state, Punjab state and Pakistan. From the very childhood he was extraordinarily calm, sensitive and peaceful. And when you can contain peace in your life, then deeper knowledge naturally comes. If there is peace, contentment and profundity in personality, then even if you don't read much, you are not educated enough, you are not a scholar, but you have an attitude of enjoying that peace always, then the knowledge comes naturally of its own accord and settles down in your heart, in your brain. Literacy has nothing to do with spiritual experience, my dear friends. But if you have peace and profundity with it and the ability to stay at your inner disposal always, then there is a possibility that you can accomplish higher glories and spiritual wisdom. Lakhaji was born in Marwar. Marwar is the upper portion of Indian desert. There is always scarcity of water. People are very innocent, proud of themselves, and have much respect for their family traditions. Maharana Pratap, Rana Sanga, Padmini, Meera, Jaimal, all great heroes of India were born there. Just 400 years before, they were so strong, constructed, magnificently large, and picturesque temples and palaces. Seeing them, you will become eminently impressed by their personalities. Varanasi, Vrindavan, Ayodhya are full of temples constructed by these kings. Their pictures are still hanging over there, and you can see how elegant they were. Such healthy personalities are not found nowadays. Boxers and muscle builders are there, but their sense of power and accomplishment and dignity is too artificial and external. Why were people born naturally stout and respect-inspiring then and not now? Only because of innocence and simplicity of the time. And when there is simplicity, there is peace, my dear friends. Lakhaji by nature was calm, cool and collected within himself. Thus, a knowledge arose in the pond of peace like lotus flower blossoms in the pond. The knowledge which arises is an understanding that life is momentary. There is nothing in life if it is simply concerned with food, sleep, fear and sex. It is useless. You have to rise above it. Even if a person is the nation's president or representative of UNO, as long as he remains materialistic, anti-spiritual, non-spiritual and un-Hindu, there is nothing in his or her life except ahar, nidra, means eating, sleeping, fear and sex. So eating, drinking, mating and fear of so many things and situations and worries such as losing status, which is like death, all that is the realm of ignorance. So if real knowledge arises in one's life, then the first symptom is that he or she finds life momentary. Then he looks for the purpose of life. Lakhaji found this purpose in expressions of Prem Lakshana Bhakti, my dear friend. In Prem Lakshana Bhakti, the very love of God is very important. The regular sadhana bhakti is that when you try your best. You do meditation, you do yoga, you do worship, you do penance and do so many things to please God, to satisfy God, to earn His grace. But in Prem Lakshana Bhakti, nothing is there. In Prem Lakshana Bhakti means everything is on God. He is deep in love with God, so much so that God is wanting to fall in neck-deep love with him or her. So this is where Vrindavan Bhav comes into existence. So the form is accepted, the name is accepted, but preference is given to the love of God. Okay? If there is love, then wherever God is, He has to come and He will be yours. If the love is missing, then however hard you will try to catch hold of Him, you will not be successful. In Prem Lakshana Bhakti, if there is a form, all right, but always take care how much your love is developing, how much devotion is coming in your heart, how much you are being filled with the feelings in your day-to-day life, how the tears come to your eyes, how many times you are thrilled in the listening and remembrances of divine transcendental pastimes of Sri Krishna Bhagavan, and how much do you torment to go to His abode, and how much do you torment to listen about Him. So this tormentation and this thrilling, these feelings are more important than God. Of course, when you will give God first preference, only then it will come. But still, the form is not stressed much. His love is stressed much. So if you have love, He has to come. If you have love, and it is neck deep love, it is blinding bliss kind of love, it is made love, He has to come then. He will be pulled by the string which is in your hand. This can be attained through worship, meditation and feelings. Lakhaji was great devotee, and great devotee means God is always linked, He is always tied with an invisible rope. But both are two polarities of something one, and that is love. Yes, just like the fish is very happy when there is unfathomable water, when there is no possibility of dying in the pond, drying in the pond, okay? When there is no possibility of drying in the pond, then the fish is very happy. Fish of a shallow pond is always in a fear, but the fish of a huge lake is always free and enjoying. The same way, when the bhakti is perfect, when your life is dissolved into bhakti, bhakti alone remains, and you have now an ocean, a huge Michigan lake, and as your individuality, you become like a fish, and you always enjoy endless eternity. Lakhaji Maharaj was born in Marwar in the race of Sri Hanumanji. Hanumanji is a great devotee of Lord Ram. In that race, everybody kept up the pride and dignity of Hanumanji. And pride of Hanumanji means the devotion of Hanumanji. And the devotion of Hanumanji means the feeling of being the devotee of the devotee of the devotee of the devotee of God. That is the only inheritance and only pride. So Lakhaji was enjoying the services of holy men from his very childhood. In those days, holy men were walking without having anything, without even any pillow, without any second pair of clothes to wear, without worrying for anything, even what to eat next day. They were roaming freely on holy pilgrimage is all around India. It was a great joy to feed such holy men, and a great noble deed to find and feed such holy men. It gives great satisfaction of selfless service of God. Feeding the holy men is a great festival when they are offered food with great respect. They enjoy as in a huge celebration. You may not be able to enjoy that much if you give your daughter or son in marriage to best possible match. Holy men enjoy so much when they get to offer the Lord God good food and taste His prasad. Even if you win millions of dollars in a state lottery or earn millions of dollars in your business, still that joy cannot compete with the joy of feeding the holy man. So Lakhaji enjoyed tremendously, and this enjoyment was sattvic. It was making him introversive, and thus deeper love of God was arising. By and by, Lakhaji became mature into this kind of satisfaction and love of God. A long time passed. He continued his devotion through feeding the holy man. He would wander every morning and every evening around the outskirts of the town. Miles he would go along the road looking for some holy man. If any holy man is coming, he would even look in the bushes to see if any holy man was meditating there, hiding somewhere. And if so, he would immediately bring him home and feed him, saying, "It is night time, please stay here. It is a good place God has given. This whole house is yours." The next day he would say, "Please stay as long as you like. I am your humble servant." And many times he would prepare many delicious dishes of rice pudding himself, puris, and many vegetables, putting many dried fruits and camphor, saffron, cardamom, pistachio, almond, and cashew nuts, and prepare sweet meats of cashew nuts and kheer puris of different varieties. Then when he would feed them, he would enjoy tremendously, my dear friends, as the holy man would take a morsel and relish its taste. So much more Lakhaji would enjoy. That's the part of devotion. That is how you rise above body consciousness and attachments of petty attachments of life with which everybody is bound, neck deep bound. This is how you transcend body identification, my dear friends. Then you are no more a body, you are Atmavan, and you are selfless. Otherwise, you are just a mere body, just a body of blood and marrow, with no soul. Lakhaji Maharaj was very special. When a person is fed only by his own eating, he is just a body. Only he enjoys the satisfaction of seeing someone else eat. Then he is developing a soulness, okay? And when he can remain hungry and still enjoy offering his food to someone else, he has a great soulness. That is why King Arantadev is glorified. King Arantadev, King Shivi did no other spiritual practice except feeling empathy with all people, the whole universe. There are 2 points. There are pious, moralistic, good householder people who are very generous, but their generosity is limited to their own kinsmen and friends and family members. They do not go further. That means they have certain limited quantity of evolution. They are good people, but spiritually they have too far to go. They have not started to be alive in soul. So, when the same generosity, same intensity of devotion is addressed to the holy men, to the saints, to the devotees of God. Then spiritual awareness arises, then Atma begins to awaken, then spiritual life begins. Kingarantadev, like Kingarantadev, Lakhaji became advanced in the joy of feeding holy men. Number grew more and more from far and wide. The holy men and saints were coming, asking from the people, where does Lakhaji live? Every day there was festival, and at last a great famine struck. There was no rain for months. One by one, Lakhaji started selling his things to continue his sacred worship. He sold his extra homes. He sold his animals. He sold his vehicles. He sold his fields and parks. And at last, he sold his home too. When all that money was finished in serving the holy men, he was going to move somewhere else. Many people were coming in the guise of holy men to eat something, and Lakhaji fed them all, but at last all was finished. The night before he was going to move, he had a dream in which God appeared, and he said, "Don't worry, Lakhaji, a cart full of wheat I will send along with one sheep buffalo." Okay? So I shall arrange everything. I shall arrange everything. Just be here and take care. Do one thing. Pour the cart load of wheat in one big storage bin. Close it from outside and make a small hole at the bottom. Every day you can take from the bottom as much as you need, and I am sure there will be no end of it. And you can take milk from this she buffalo and make ghee. Thus you can keep serving, don't have to move. Lakhaji opened his eyes and told everything to his wife. He asked, "What do you think, my dear wife?" Without hesitation she said, "Definitely this must be right, and this must be the voice of God. Let us go in the woods and find the cart." In the indicated place there was a cart full of grain. Lakhaji was very surprised, but he said, "Without the owner's permission, how can I take the cart?" He moved to leave, and then he was stopped by something. He wanted to go to the left. He was stopped from there. So from all around he was stopped by some invisible power. He was unable to go. Then next, he was unable to do anything else. But then he moved towards the cart, then he was free. And so that invisible power was just pushing him to the cart and take over him. So Lakhaji's wife held his hand and said softly, "Dear, this cart has been given to us. Let us accept this divine gift." At last he accepted, and returning home he continued his devotional service. The following year there was an abundance of rain, and the harvest grew bountifully. People became very happy. Lakhaji was very happy to see green fields, wheat, rice, corn, green grass, bushy, bright trees. Then he thought it will be enjoyable to have a holy pilgrimage to Jagannath Puri. This is the symptom of selfless loving mind. Otherwise he would be thinking, every comfort is here, God is also here, he has a small temple. What is the need to go anywhere? Naturally he could have thought God is here, there and everywhere. What is the need to go to any other place? But he did not. His love was overflowing beyond regular practical intelligence. And he wanted to go in a very strange way. He does not want to use any vehicle, no horse, no chariot, no palanquin, no riding on someone's shoulder. Not at all. He does not want to walk even in the regular way. He says, God is standing on the earth. My head should be at his feet.